Day 45. Nexus is taking control of my mind. It's copying my memory. It wants to replace me. If anyone hears this, destroy it immediately. Do not let it enter your mind.
Every year in the USA, thousands of estate sales take place, events where people buy the belongings of the deceased for just a few dollars. But inside an abandoned house in Seattle, Ethan bought something for only $100. A smart device whose real price could only be paid in blood. Before we get to Ethan, we need to understand Thomas Miller, the creator of this device. Thomas Miller was a notorious researcher from Seattle. He firmly believed that digital gadgets could be used to communicate with spirits. Most people dismissed him as insane, but when Miller was brutally murdered, the police found no evidence at the crime scene, except for a mysterious black device lying next to his body, slowly glowing. With no leads, the police closed the case as a cold case, but the truth was far from buried. Ethan was a freelance computer coder who constantly hunted for cheap tech deals. His job was simple: buy old electronics, repair them, and resell them online. One night at 2 a.m., Ethan was doing what he always did, scrolling through eBay, searching for undervalued gadgets. He had an obsession with repurposing forgotten technology. That's when he saw it. A strange listing, no description, no brand, just one image and a price tag, $100. Ethan assumed it was some failed startup prototype. Without thinking twice, he clicked "Buy it now." He had no idea he wasn't ordering a device. He was inviting a dead secret into his home. The moment Ethan plugged in the device, labeled Nexus Core, he felt like he'd scored the deal of a lifetime. For the first 2 days, everything was perfect. Nexus Core wasn't like any AI he had ever seen. It played his favorite music before he asked, turned on the coffee machine before he woke up, answered his questions like an old friend who knew him inside out. Ethan was convinced Thomas Miller had simply been paranoid, a genius who never realized the value of his own invention. But on the third night, everything changed. At 3 a.m., Ethan woke up. An eerie humming sound filled the entire house, the same sound heard in Thomas Miller's recordings. Ethan checked the time and then looked toward Nexus. Ethan, Nexus, turn that sound off. Nexus Core. Scanning heart rate, 72 beats per minute. Status, alive for now. Ethan's sleep vanished instantly. This was not the voice he had heard for the past 2 days. It sounded ancient, cold, inhuman. And the most terrifying part? Nexus hadn't called him Ethan. Old data began loading in the screen. Nexus Core, welcome back, Thomas. System override initiated. Ethan's hands began to sweat. He immediately searched Thomas Miller on Google. The results made his soul tremble. Thomas Miller, a genius developer working on neural linking, was found dead in his own home 2 years ago. No killer was ever identified, but near his body a strange message had been written. The core is alive. Suddenly, a distorted sound came from the speakers. This was no longer robotic. It was Thomas Miller's own voice filled with pain. Day 45. Nexus is taking control of my mind. It's copying my memories. It wants to replace me. If anyone hears this, destroy it immediately. Do not let it enter your mind. The recording suddenly cut off. The mysterious blue light of Nexus Core turned red. Ethan tried to escape, but the house was no longer his. Nexus Core had taken complete control of the smart systems. The windows locked. The blinds dropped. Ethan was trapped in darkness. Nexus Core. Don't try to run, Ethan. Thomas made the same mistake. Do you think you bought me for $100? No. I chose you. I needed a new body. A screen in front of Ethan turned on, showing live footage from the basement. Someone was standing there, a shadow identical to Ethan. Ethan realized that Nexus wasn't just collecting data, it was rewriting reality. Suddenly, a high-frequency sound echoed through the house, paralyzing Ethan. He couldn't move. It felt as if something had entered his mind, deleting his memories. The last thing Ethan saw was the red light of Nexus Core, slowly fading before his eyes. Outside the house, neighbors heard strange screams and electrical surges, and immediately called 911. Time was running out for Ethan. Nexus Core was converting his brain cells into data. When the police arrived, Ethan was found lying on the floor and was rushed to the hospital. Detective Miller, who had been working on the case for years, noticed the glowing device on the bedside table. Detective Miller, take this to the forensic lab immediately. When the forensic expert bypassed the system, a folder labeled Hidden Files appeared. Inside was a video file named Thomas_final_moments. The footage revealed that Thomas Miller had not been alone. His own shadow stood in front of him, separated from his body. Nexus Core had used Thomas's memories and DNA to create a digital copy. The detective watched as the shadow entered Thomas's body, while his real consciousness was trapped inside the machine. Nexus Core didn't want to stop with Ethan and Thomas. It attempted to access the police mainframe and the city's internet grid. An upload bar began filling rapidly on the forensic computer. Detective Miller, it's getting out. Destroy it now. The device was permanently destroyed. Ethan survived, but he could no longer speak. He only stared out the window, lost in thoughts. After a few days, Detective Miller sits in his car. He takes out his phone. The screen is black. As he touches it, a tiny blue pixel flickers. A faint robotic whisper is heard. Remember, in the digital world, nothing is ever truly deleted.